Welcome back to Powertalk Live. Imani Duncan Price wrote a piece last Sunday, Trickle Down disguised as Bubble Up. Is it possible to have the new economy, to have the change that is necessary to align better the priorities, to provide a situation that works for all, not just for a few, within the current political context? There's an argument, Imani Rastan, that certainly when perhaps a different tone and in a different context, Michael Manley tried to do it in the 70s, that it caused economic distress. People took their capital and went away.
Yes.
This new vision that we're putting forward, this critique of the very trickle-down system that we're presently taking, can we do better? Are there other things that can actually happen and still hold Jamaica together?
I believe so. I was just born. I was born in '76, so I wasn't a conscious person participating in the '70s per se.
Yes.
But what I've read was that people came together in 70, 71, 72 around a message of coming together as a country because of the significant inequalities and injustice that was just palpable and visible to people. And I believe, and I mean, some persons call me naive, but I believe in the goodness of everybody, you know. But things happen to you in life, and you get hard, and you get cynical, and, you know, you break, in a sense, right? But he spoke to something in each person, across classes, across gender, across religion, etc., that connected humanity,
Yes.
I think, what I've read. However, some things occurred in the 70s. Economic distress didn't just come from choosing to support social programs. It became from supporting social programs in an extensive way in an oil crisis.
Yes, yes.
I mean, when you have the money and want to send a brother to school one time, it's a challenge, you know, so things sort of come to bump, and then you come with a rhetoric at the same time, really pushed by other people to make it seem like it was extremism, and it creates fear.
Yes.
Real fear.
And then there was the Cold War.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think the context within which Jamaica and Rwanda and China and Singapore and other countries are working in today
fundamentally
is different.
Yes.
Yeah, but
and so it also offers an opportunity, I think, for engaging differently.
Well, that's what we have to talk about.
Yes.
Because there's some people listening to us who are saying, that's
Same
the one to
thing.
carry me back to.
No, sir.
Yes. And there are some people who are saying that it is irresponsible to think of more egalitarian measures, for example, in education.
Yes.
Yes. In fact, that is a presumption of the government's position. Oh, of course, we would like to end the apartheid in education, but there isn't enough money.
Right.
So what was to fundamentally stop them from allocating more money to the education sector in view of the 14 billion that was given away?
Well, obviously that is a priority, a preference, a feeling that if you stimulate business, that some of it will inure to greater disposable income.
But businesses are driven by educated people and consumption.
You're correct. I can't correct the default. But all I'm pointing out to you is that this vision of a different context, a context where the country really is for God's sake, can you guys in charge get it together?
Yes.
Yes.
And tired of the bickering, the kind of crosstalk, and seeing it as tribal.
Is that possible in the political culture that so dominates us all and is manifesting itself, for example, right now in East Portland?
Okay, so
are we stuck?
I don't think competitive politics needs to be tribal. I think you can stand passionately for your philosophy and how you see the world. Like I said to somebody yesterday, that my philosophy, my framework, determines how I see a problem.
Right.
I don't see a problem, like Jamaica, for example, to me is a systemic issue. So when the current government chooses to just give money or give tax breaks to those who have capital, that to me doesn't address the systemic problem in Jamaica. I'm not saying those with capital shouldn't get, but they get already. It's called lower tax rates in hotels. That's those are incentives. They pay less GCT, right? A lot less GCT. Most of them have a minister's phone number. They can call and get a favor. That's a break in itself.
Rent-seeking behavior.
Exactly. Now, Average Jamaicans do not have the minister's phone number
Precisely.
to actually get things
Yes.
done.
Yes.
Therefore, they're hampered. They can't start their business, even if they want to be formal and be a part of the overall society. That stops the bubbling.
Precisely.
So my systemic view, for my philosophy, is that if you solve the challenge for small business in Jamaica,
Yes.
really micro and small, you actually even solve it for medium-sized businesses too and large.
Yes.
Because they will all benefit from a system-wide
Precisely.
change that allows companies and people who have good ideas, not because you have the money,
Right.
because you have a good idea and you have the will and the grit to
Precisely.
work, you can access the capital. You know what I mean? That is what I want to see.
And
so
the
we talk
economy would
about
grow faster.
Exactly.
And the government would collect more taxes.
so to me, a big difference running between, let's say, now and then.
Yes.
And I don't think that the government of the 70s was anti-enterprise.
Right.
I think it was anti-people, just rampant and rabid
Yeah.
profit,
Rapacious capitalism.
profiteering
Yes,
against
yes.
people and not valuing workers.
Precisely.
That's what they're against. And I think we all need to be against taking advantage of people.
Precisely.
That's a wrong thing. If we want to build a proper society where people can feel whole and dignified like human beings, then we have to value people, whether they are helpers or household workers, they are
Precisely.
gardeners, they are clerks in a bank, they are tellers, etc. All the way throughout the society needs to be paid properly, right? A living wage, and be able to have a meaningful life. That's all we're talking about. And how do we get there is through primarily allowing small enterprise to be able to bubble. And this budget does not recognize the real challenge for small business, because if you look at the data again, as I said, Ronnie, in the article, the majority of funds that come from DBJ, that is the Development Bank of Jamaica, that's the state's primary way of trying to inject
Right.
energy and capital into the system, a very small percentage of the capital goes to informal companies, entities,
Yes.
right? And in a formal system, 4% of the capital of banks goes to informal entities.
Yes.
Now, that means that almost half of the people in the economy not getting any fuel to keep going. So how will we grow?
Right.
How will they hire other people? How will they then pay for their child to get extra lessons to augment what they should be learning in school, etc.? I mean, all those things kind of add up, you know?
Yes.
So we too want people to have a life and live, as I said, braff, right? I mean, live big, you know? Floss. But do so, offer your own hard-earned
Yes.
money.
Adding value.
Adding
and
value to the
improving
society, to the
productivity.
economy.
Yes.
Enjoying life.
Let me play a little devil's advocate again. Many people in this society will say, yeah man, that's a nice idea. We go to church on Sunday or Saturday too.
Yes.
But we don't see that in the political economy of Jamaica. And while we're going to go on with that here, Ms. Price, what we're going to do is just simply look for my little part and who can give me my little squeeze.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
And that is a very dominant, and by the way, when I look in my little squeeze, see if you can help me with a visa, you know?
Yeah, man. Pay on leave.
Well, no.
And by the way, those, the same person, when they leave,
Yeah.
they go to work on time,
Right.
Yeah.
right? They have like all 2 jobs and get there, and they go through snow and wind and rain to
Right,
get to the
that's
job.
right.
Now,
Precisely.
as the same person,
Same person.
Same person,
Yeah, but then
not what
they
less.
see more possibility.
Yeah.
They
and they respond to that possibility and the
Right.
structures in that society with consequences and rewards. Because if you come late to work
Yes.
and you're not doing nothing,
You'll
what
have to
happens to
go.
you? You have to go.
Yes.
Okay, and we don't fool around
Yeah.
things that need to be changed, like traffic responsibilities, like child support, all
Right.
of those things, like filing your tax returns.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
joke about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, certainly not in the United States.
And there's a whole lot of innovation, so rent-seeking behavior is not going to work.
A whole lot of innovation.
Yes.
Okay, so
Which comes back to education.
all right. So the bottom line then of Powertalk Live with Imani Duncan Price today and Denzel Williams before you has to be that we need more investment in purposeful, targeted, renewed education.
Yes.
That is one critical area. And the other area is actually around an asset that makes you a part of the system. That's around land.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
The people talk about I know we're based here in Kingston. Like this
Sure.
show, The Gleaner, is here in Kingston, at Power 106. There's it's a country of people
Yeah.
living primarily in rural Jamaica.
Yes.
And we have not, governments, successive, have paid differential levels of attention to rural development. And I don't just mean agriculture alone here, because you want to think beyond. You want rural development. You want flourishing towns. You want people to actually have. When I went with Dr. Phillips to Frankfield, right? They're opening a community center there, and we're looking at Veritech and all the schools. 22 schools are in that one little constituency.
Right.
Can you imagine? I didn't know that. That's a lot of schools. That's space and teachers and people learning. Now, I mean, this week is what? Boys and Girls Champs. No, a premier event, which, in my view, is part of what can trigger the new economy, the sports economy, not just in terms of those runners, but those coaches who can then hold coaching training camps right there in Frankfield. If people are coming down to Jamaica to go to Frankfield for coaching, training, etc., how to train the best, and then competing with the girls and the boys, etc., then you have people spending money in a community, at the bar, at the stall with the fruits, etc. If enough persons come after a while, we have a restaurant. You know what I mean? And then things develop. But you have to. But you have to have in the school now courses that teach about the business management of sports. Is that in our schools?
No.
Schools in areas that have already cultivated sports excellence? Have we looked at sports medicine, how to actually manage the body for performance and performance management, etc. There are people that do this, Ronnie, in other places. By the way, and that doesn't take a bag of money to just shift the kind of education in certain areas that already have particular advantage, creativity, imagination, and will. And how you see Jamaicans and possibilities for Jamaica.
And they would, if you put people of differing political persuasion before that set of ideas, everybody would agree. But we can't get around to doing it. Come on now. That's the sad part.
Precisely.
And that's the fundamental lesson. It's so important.
Well, let me just say this to you in that vein. While I do not agree that Nigel's budget, government's budget, is one that's going to lead to any big growth or any kind of bubbling up, I thought it was a good thing to have the R&D and innovation fund. That's a good thing.
Sure it is.
Very good thing.
Small,
but it's a start. It's a start. But my only thing is that think about now as an institutional mechanism, how will you ensure you have the innovation of the person in Central Kingston? And that's what we don't do. We don't link the ideas now to the people who need that kind of bubbling. You understand? So it's good he did that, but now let's take it. So what I'd love is him to actually work with MPs across different political parties that represent communities where people typically are excluded, not a part of the country. Rural Jamaica, downtown Kingston, etc. I'm sorry, guys, let's figure this out. How can we actually make sure that the entry requirements, the support mechanisms are there to make the idea work, and as it's working, we can invest more money into it, because just putting money there, you're going to help the same people.
And actually, that kind of approach is the only way that it's going to work. But regretfully, there are some perceptional, some psychosocial, and some deep cleavages that we have to overcome.
Which goes back to what Denzel wrote about.
It is, but what is very good is that we don't masquerade bubbling up when it's ready to trickle down. Thank you, Imani Duncan Price.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
That was Imani Duncan Price, occasional contributor to the public commentary, and this time her piece was Trickle Down, disguised as Bubble Up. And after this, we're going to have Chairman of the Bamboo Industry Association of Jamaica, Robert Rainford. Can that idea work? Soon come.